Hello, 2021. Another year, another video here on my channel. We're heading into my 10th year on YouTube, I think, wearing my I'm Speaking shirt. Filming this just mere hours after the inauguration. Just like exhale. How are you? I would love to know how you are, how you've been, what you've been up to. It's been almost exactly a month since I even picked up the camera, and I have been resting. Honestly, a lot of the time I've just been resting. So I thought today I would check in, let you know what I've been up to, and see how you are, and see if you have any thoughts on where you'd like things to go for 2021. After Christmas, I really relaxed. I didn't take time off from work, but I took things like really low and slow for sure, having time off of school, and I hit a pretty low patch actually. I had a lot of days where I was really upset and nothing was triggering it, like crying and feeling really low, and instead of constantly trying to evaluate and come up with why, I just allowed it to be. I think that that's something that I definitely have struggled with in the past, is like always trying to figure out like what's wrong, how can I fix it, like let's move forward, getting out of that uncomfortability, which makes sense. But I just, for the first time maybe, was like, I'm just gonna sit in it and kind of listen to myself and try and figure out what's going on here as it unfolds naturally. And it took a long time. Usually at the end of the year and the beginning of a fresh year, I love to set goals. I love to set intentions. I love to talk to you about goals. And I just could not bring myself to do any of that. And that was really upsetting to me, and concerning for sure. But what I realized was like, perhaps we've done enough right now, and we don't have to set a huge, scary new course for the new year. And once I realized that, it felt really good. You know, I don't think that we sit in our accomplishments enough or in our decisions. We're always, at least me personally, I'm always thinking like, what's next? What's better? Like, what can I do? And I allowed myself to just really reflect and think like, wow, you got through 2021. Kind of end stop, you know? And that was probably the first time that I've ever done that. And I also exhaled at the thought of, it was the first time that maybe I didn't need to do that. For so many years, things have been so hard for me and in this house. And every year I was like, okay, like setting new goals, setting intentions, like, okay, this is what's hard. This is what's making me cry all the time. Like, this is what we're gonna do this year. And then I would do that. And I think for the first time, maybe I didn't need to. You know, now that my partner's moved in and we've settled into living with each other for a few months, I think subconsciously I was able to just exhale for the first time in maybe a decade since Thomas was born, because we're coming up on 10 years since he was born. I think I was able to just realize that, you know, I have a partner and I have help, and for the first time in almost 10 years, I can just be. I don't have to make all the decisions. I don't have to, there isn't impending stress all the time. And I think that's also why I was really upset a lot. It was just my body like grieving and letting go and processing 2020. I think a lot of us were doing that. I saw a lot of, you know, COVID fatigue on the internet and people feeling the same as me. Like, is anyone else not feeling like new year, new me? No, we just went through what the hell was that year, and you know, now that we can have a break between, you know, Christmas and that sort of thing, kind of just like processing, like, what just happened? And then for me, I think subconsciously I took it even another step further of like, what has happened in the last year, in the last 2 years since meeting my partner, in the last, you know, almost 4 years since losing Jeremy, in the last almost 10 years since Thomas was born. And then it was a roller coaster of special needs and mental health. So I just leaned into it, and it was very hard, but purposeful. You know, we don't always have to be looking to the next thing. It's okay to just be. So that's what I've been doing, just being. And something else that I started to do was 2020, I really had an aversion to a lot of things that were happening on social media, which is hard for me because social media is my business, and trying to find that balance of it being a healthy, safe space without it being the garbage fire that it is a lot of the time. And so for me, that looks like not mindlessly scrolling. So what I've been doing instead, what I decided to do was read. So every time that I would want to like flop on the couch and just take a few minutes to unwind by scrolling social media, but actually then just getting more disgusted or stressed out by what was happening in the world, I would just read my book. A few pages. Luckily I'm on my 3rd book this year, and luckily they've all had pretty short chapters, which is nice. I have found that to be very therapeutic and very productive. It feels good. I'm reading fiction. If you're interested in what I've been reading, let me know. I've been thinking about posting them maybe to my Instagram or like as I go, instead of waiting till the end of the year and then doing this like mammoth video. But that's helped. You know, I talked to one of my friends at the end of last year and I was like, I think I need a hobby, so that instead of scrolling my phone, I'm doing something. But I've landed on reading as my hobby. So Boxing Day, I ordered a ton of books, and like actual books, and have been really enjoying that. And I've been putting my phone down pretty much once Thomas goes to bed, and then I have an hour or 2 of no screen time. So I've been reading before I go to bed, and I think that's been helping my sleep too, because my sleep got really rough again at the end of last year. My insomnia came back really hard, and I think the reading has been helpful. I also will have a very light book ready and on standby on my Kindle on my bedside table, so that if I do wake up in the middle of the night, I can just read a little bit of that without the blue light. But that's where I've been, just being, basically. I do have a mantra for the year, and I do have goals-ish kind of for the year, but they're not as like set in stone. So let me know if you want to see a video on that. It would be a very different kind of goal setting cash video, but if it's helpful for me, maybe it will be helpful for some of you. Let me know what you want to see this year. I had some requests already of things that look to be really fun, so I'll be posting those. But we're gonna take things real easy, at least at the beginning of 2021. This is what I can handle at the moment. School's back, and I'm so happy. I love it so much. and I want to share more with you of what I learned in school. Here's just one tidbit. In my psych class, we started off by talking about emotions, and we were talking about how when something comes up, you have the choice of how you react to it. And you know, Gabby Bernstein calls it like choose again. So you react, you stop, why am I reacting this way? And then you choose a different reaction. It's incredibly helpful. But my prof said when something comes up, like an issue, and you're instantly about to get super mad about it or upset about it or anxious about it. It's been a lot of anxiety from a lot of us in the last, I don't know, year for sure, but most of us longer. She said, think of it as, is this an inconvenience or is this a problem? Problem is like, I lost my job, I got diagnosed with cancer, I'm about to be kicked out. That's a problem. An inconvenience is like, I'm running late, or I burnt my toast, or my Alexa Fire Stick isn't working. I knew that was gonna trigger her. So is it a problem? And this is something we really need to focus on. Or am I just being inconvenienced and being a little pissy about it? If it's an inconvenience, think like, is this gonna bother me in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 years? And if it's not, like, let it go. I have found that to be very helpful and kind of goes with what my goals are this year. Wearing my courage bracelet from Cindy, which I love. It's almost 2 years since you gave this to me. Thank you. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say today. I just wanted to film and not edit and say hi and check in with you. Start 2021 together. Let me know how you are. And oh, another thing I saw that I really loved was this thing that I shared on my Instagram story where someone said, like, my boss called me today and said, like, how are you? And I said, fine. And she said, stop. Like, nobody's fine. Tell me how you actually are. And they're like, I'm actually terrible. Like, great, let's start there. And I really liked that. And some of my friends and I started doing that to each other. Like, how are you? Fine. Like, nope, try again. You're great. Tell me. I'm not saying you have to be terrible, but like, you don't have to just be like, how are you? Fine, I'm good, thanks, fine, okay, move on, when actually you're like, I have been for the last few weeks really struggling. So I hope that's a little bit of help. Say that to your friends, like, or your partner. Let's stop just saying, I'm good, it's all good. Or someone in my life, when they say it's all good, I know most certainly it is not, and everything needs to stop and we need to talk about it. So, me and my most favorite sweater right now, I'm speaking. We're gonna go, I'm gonna watch a video for my anthropology class, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Lace up, subscribe, become a marathoner. Life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I'm gonna say it again. Exhale together. Life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.